Hey up people, just got a little message for you. So a few years ago, probably even 2 years ago, things started going a bit better. Slowly started to change the mindset and reevaluate and take a lot more accountability of myself. But for the last 10 years before that, I was literally just plodding along, going absolutely nowhere, and just falling into the future, whatever it given to me. But at the end of the day, until you start to realise what caused the problems, where you may have been pissed off, even bitter, even maybe jealous, you just never really take the accountability and look at yourself. You might pass the blame on to other people, which I definitely did. Kind of thought I was better than I was, but with that mindset, never end up going anywhere. And since I've really made the big changes in the last couple of years, it's all started happening thick and fast. I just want to say, in England, where I'm from, you have one of the biggest killers is suicide, and that's people taking their own life, unfortunately. And I believe it's all due to the poor mindset which they have, and I had. Not that I was suicidal, but it was more being stuck in a rut, never really being able to change properly, or not knowing how to change. But once you start changing the little 1% and 2%, maybe going to the gym, or even a jog, or even finding new hobbies what you didn't believe you appreciated, it's then you start meeting better people and things start to happen. Even if you're stuck in a job you don't really see a future in, sometimes you have to take a gamble and shoot for it, because no one will give you anything in this life time and time again. You might get lucky once or twice, but really, in order to open them doors, you have to go and open them yourself. Now, like I was saying about the mindset, it's a lot easier to be said than done. But in order to just slowly get a positive mind, you have to maybe cut out some of either the deep-rooted trauma, or even maybe drug addictions or alcohol. Now, if you do it moderately, that's your thing. This is not for you. But if you abuse your body like I abused it, then really all I was doing is masking reality. And that's a pure fact. And one of the best facts I ever realised. And to be honest, I knew, deep down I knew. But it was just slowly trying to escape mass reality, or however you want to put it. You just keep plodding along. And like I say, you're lucky if you stay on the horizon, let alone at the decline. Now, I used to have fucked up teeth, very fucking brown stain due to weed, and I couldn't give a care in the world about it. And I'd say, what is that? Maybe a little bit of depression? I was definitely very insecure, not as confident as what I am today. That's a big fact, and I say that humbly. We can all make changes, no matter how famous, how much money in the world you've got, or how well you think you're doing. Because if you don't, when you stop learning, that's it for you. You always need to keep trying to improve things, whether it's your career, or maybe you're at the peak with that. Maybe look at yourself, or if you have a small family, what could I do more for the family instead of money, money, money? Because it's not all about money. When people say, oh, you have to find your happiness, it's not as easy as that. Going back to it, could be past traumas, or even yourself just slowly wasting your life away. Now I did that for a good 10 years. A good 10 years thinking, things will change in the future. I believe I deserve better. When really, you deserve what you put into life. Big fact. And others will see that around you. They'll rate it and respect it. Now, I always thought I was wise. And I kind of was. But I wouldn't even listen to my own advice, let alone other people's. So actually I was kind of stupid, because if you're a smart person and you're not doing anything with the smarts, you're an idiot. Simple as that. Now I'm trying to share this little message because I believe if you've got some kind of knowledge, now for sure, I am not claiming I'm a specialist or got any qualifications in this field, yet it has always been a passion of mine to see people do better, and even psychology. I love studying a person, but I never really studied myself. I was always scared. Like I said, insecure and underconfident. Many people might not have thought that, but it is definitely the truth. Now I'm a different man these days, an actual man. And it starts with being honest. One of the biggest things in life for me is honesty. No matter if you're right or wrong, this is one thing you can respect. Real honesty, and that's where you get the respect. It's not all about power and money and all the materialistic stuff what comes with it, because if you look at some of them, look at lottery winners for example, they become the most depressed people, and some of them even kill themselves once it's all gone, because they enjoyed it that much. They let everyone hang out the back of them, and then when it starts drying up, they don't get the same energy anymore because people have moved on. So that's what them type of people are like. It's like to move on to the next best thing or the next trend or who can give them something. Now if you surround yourself with people and you can set little tells to test these people, to see are they really good, genuine people, and you'll find yourself looking at a few of them and think, Jesus Christ, they are. So open the mind up and don't be too scared to trust people, because you can't do it on your own. If you've been sat bottling up all these thoughts, what you might have, what I had, trust me, without good family and friends, you're never going to do it. You're not going to have an opinion of anyone who really matters. They're just going to tell you what they think you want to wear, not what you should wear. Now, like I said, this can be for all people. Males, females, even different age groups. It's mainly 35 and under, I'd say. But you could be stuck at any point in your life thinking, what's next for me? Or how can I improve? And hopefully this video, and maybe a couple of more videos I'm going to post, because I don't want this channel to be all about like deep talk. I want to bring good positive energy, because that's what I believe. If the world was a lot more like that, it'd be a better place. There won't be as much robbing, there'd be tighter communities, and we'd all genuinely want to look after each other that bit more. Now, it's not going to happen overnight for sure. Just like me, it took me many years, many years of nervous breakdowns were the more what happened, or let's say further in life when they happened, it hit me harder and harder. And it was, again, it's not that I wanted to ever commit suicide, but it was like, I have had enough of this life. I just don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And what I mean by that is, my mind was just so tunnel visioned into my own bullshit, and I didn't look at the bigger picture. I was high out my mind, smoking far too much weed, let alone with abusing your lungs and that. I'm surprised my brain's still intact, but it is. And that's why I'm here now saying this message, because I feel like if you've got the knowledge, you should share it. Because there's no point in dying at some point in your life and never really helping people around you. Even families, you'll see them where one rises to the top and all the others are saying, no, he's tight, don't really give much for Christmas. But really, he's just cut himself off thinking, I have to protect myself, I'm different from them. But nah, we can all bring each other up. It's not a competition. The only competition what should be made is you against yourself. Now hopefully in the next few videos I can go into a couple more subjects a little bit more, give a little bit more detail, and maybe you can learn something and be able to help yourself as well. Apologies for the cars, but hopefully you can hear it all. It's not got to be perfect, and it's as raw as they come, for one take, no messing around. I did write a nice little script for it, which maybe I've missed a couple of things off there, but at the end of the day, I was panicking a little bit inside, a little bit of anxiety, because I'm not used to speaking in front of the camera, but it was something I always wanted to do. Now, I always had these visions when I was younger of maybe going into schools, speaking to the kids, and telling them the real stuff. It's not all about GCSEs and passing your tests. It's about the extra things, which when you put them all together, you'll become a lot more stronger. We're not really taught how to deal with losses. For example, family members, the career promotion you didn't get in the end, or anything else, whether it's a hard-hitting loss. We bottle it up and we try and just move on. But that is not the answer, because slowly you bottle more things up and it's just really not the way to deal with it. Because after a while you probably hit a couple of nervous breakdowns like I did, and then things will start spiraling out of control that bit more, and it's just a lot more harder to then re-tackle things. Because for me, it got very overwhelming. That overwhelming were the large amounts of weed I was smoking turned into more, for sure. Practically doubled, to the point where it was like, we can't keep doing this anymore. I've somehow managed to afford it for this amount of time, because I was semi-blessed. But you know what? I would have died doing that shit probably in 10 years time. I got hit with all kinds of health problems, and I managed to get out while I could. And hopefully I can help more people on this journey. Whether you personally watching the video doesn't really want to take accountability of yourself. Now, I'm not saying everyone's been in this situation, but the chances are you all very well could be at some stage. Or your little brother, your little sister, or even your mum and dad. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot more advice out there nowadays than what there was back then. Like, mental health issues didn't really used to exist 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Now, there's been famous people what end up getting, they end up getting hard done by, a bit like the lottery winners, like I said. Whenever they're at the peak of their life in terms of money, everyone's around them. Oh, come on, let me in. And then once they let all these people in, they slowly get milked and milked and milked. So when something goes wrong, everyone's quickly turns against them because they want real people. Let's say the media, for instance. And then they have to deal with a harder loss, you know, of what they once thought they had. The fans or the followers, the faith in people, and it all gets taken away. That's when it hits them twice as hard. And that is a lot to deal with as someone who's famous. Now, luckily, I'm not famous. But I just like to say, it doesn't matter who you are or how big you are, it's definitely hit some. Because we're all human. No matter where you're from in the world, some countries might breed stronger people than others. I believe in the West, we've all had it too comfortable for way too long. We all love materialistic stuff, and we've never really had to do any fighting. You know, we've had an easy life, yet we still need to challenge the issue at some point. Now, we need to end the video. We don't want to go on for too long, and hopefully it all gets done in one video. Bish bash bosh. So if you would, it'd be very grateful if you liked it, shared it and subscribed. And then if you want to do an extra thing, you can comment, make the algorithm go even better. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'd like to do some of them things I mentioned, going in schools, or even talking to the vulnerable people like myself once was. Now, as I said, I'm not a specialist or got the qualifications, but I've been through everything I've just said. And I believe I could give a lot of advice, and I've got a good ear to listen, because it's not all about me, you know, and that's exactly what this message is. Not many people would have the balls to actually do this. For 18 minutes I've been on for, speaking about this, and then post it publicly, and I will do on my social medias. So anyone, definitely give it a share for me, because good energy comes back for good people. Remember, karma, blessed people. Have a nice day, all the best.